And hello, folks. It's another episode of the Cowboy and Cadillac show, and this is...
I'm Cowboy.
And, of course, I'm Cadillac, and we are God-fearing...
gun-toting.
Free market capitalist.
That's some pretty serious business in these days, too.
Yeah, it's getting more important every day.
Every day.
Every day.
So we got a little bit of whiskey to try, a little bourbon and a little rye to try today. You want to give a little testimony here?
I can give what I know, and that's all. That this is out of Park City, Utah. Yep. And it's the first distillery that's the newest distillery since what?
1807.
Dang.
1807. It's 1807, 1870. I want to verify that now. 1870. I apologize.
It's okay.
Dyslexic this morning.
Yeah,
1870.
It's the only ski-in distillery in the world, supposedly, so we thought that was pretty cool.
That is extremely cool.
Yeah, and we had a good friend of ours bring some of this back from Park City for us.
Yes, he did, as a matter of fact.
So, let's give it a shot.
We appreciate that, Mr. Knight.
Yeah, we do. Sean, you're a good guy.
We're going to try this out.
No matter what everybody else says.
We're going to try. This is the rye.
Right.
This is the rye that we're going to try first, and then at the end of the show, we're going to switch over and do a little bourbon.
Let's do it.
So let's taste it up. Do a little cheers.
How about to sanity?
I was thinking about whiskey and wild women, but okay, we'll go with sanity since that's what he wants.
The sanity, Cowboy. Now that is good.
That's smooth.
That's really good.
Matter of fact, he said, whenever he gave us the whiskey, he said that he liked the rye better.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I have to admit that was pretty freaking good. So there's your High West whiskey.
Definitely.
Park City, Utah.
2 thumbs up from Cadillac.
And also the distillery is in a old livery.
Yep.
I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but there's a tiny horseshoe on the top side of that bottle. That's supposedly a horseshoe that was found when they were renovating, turning it into the distillery, the old livery.
Right.
And this was a horseshoe that came off one of the horses they believe that carried the wagons to and from the mine.
That is correct. Says
so
so
there
on
you
the
go.
website as well. So definitely, that's great, smooth whiskey right there.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I'm going to move this out of the way.
So, since we're toasting to sanity, the reason I said that today is because I don't know if you ever watched any of that show called Stranger Things.
Never seen it.
All right, so me and the kids and the wife, we love it, and so there's like a parallel universe that's going on. There's some bad, crazy shit that's going on. It's set back in the 80s, and the parallel universe was called the Upside Down, and the Upside Down was affecting the
right side up.
Now, yeah, the right side up, and I'd like to think that you and me and folks like us are from the right side up,
or at least the upside of right.
Yeah, well, we're definitely that.
All right,
I agree. But it seems as though we're having some, I'm going to say creatures.
From the Black Lagoon?
No, well, the Upside Down. It's close to the same thing.
Okay, I was thinking so.
Yeah. That are starting to manifest in like large droves. At least the media would love for us to think that.
Speaking of media, I gotta go just sidetrack. Just for a quick. Is CNN going? Are they done? Are they out?
Listen,
Are they completely folding up shop?
CNN Plus, they're streaming.
Gone.
Because everybody's streaming these days. Less than 30 days, and they have pulled the plug, shut it down.
Holy smoke.
Yeah.
They've told too many lies.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. Go back. I just want to make sure I threw that in there.
Well, that's where we're actually going to full circle here.
Okay.
We're going to come back to that because at the end of the day, when you do have media in the country who's making us, people like us and people like you that are watching this think that we are the minority because we are from the right side up and because we do like traditional values and because we are, we like the Constitution. We believe in freedom of speech. We believe that live and let live.
I agree.
They want us to think that we are going out to pasture, folks. They want us to think that we're now the minority. But there's only one true way when we live in a world of, I'll call them distorted polls, distorted viewpoints, manipulated viewpoints.
Lies. You're basically talking about lies.
Lies. There is only one way when we have an unbiased media.
Do we have? Is there such a thing anymore? Do we have an unbiased media at all? I mean, honestly.
I said it to be facetious.
Because I tell you what, I think they all lie to us.
They do. Every one of them. Every one. At the end of the day, they're all owned by the same folks. And they're all spinning deceit to devise us.
I got a sidetrack on that media thing.
Do it.
No, I say I got a sidetrack. Okay. Get on back track here.
I'm just going to say simply this. How do we know that we are the majority? And folks, it's going to go back to one thing. It goes back to the results at the end of the day. We've said it before, Cowboy, that it's our spending dollar and our spending power that ultimately tells the truth of what we as a country believe. Look at Disney today.
All I know is I spend money on guns.
I do too. Got some nice ones coming in this week. Can we show them next week?
I think we should. I think next show we should definitely do a little show and tell.
Oh yeah, we got some nice stuff. Anyway, proud of it. Ready to play with it. So
customs.
Yeah, I mean, look at Netflix. They started going a little woke, and now they've lost over I don't know how many millions of viewers, and they're like crashing big time right now as we speak. Disney World.
Did you say Disney World?
Yeah.
Disney World. Aren't they the ones that are trying to let our grammar school kids learn about that they can have sex changes and stop puberty and convert to whatever they want just because of the way they feel?
So the creatures from the upside down and the media are having us, they've reworded it. It's actually called the Parental Rights Bill here in the state of Florida. And it's protecting kindergartners through third graders from any type of sex education or gender, I'll call propaganda.
I'm going to call it a crock of shit.
There you go. That's better.
Have you ever seen a crock of shit?
Well, I know what a crock pot is.
Have you ever seen one full of shit?
No.
It reminds me kind of what you're talking about right now. This is what I imagine.
Keeps it hot.
Yeah, just
on
stinking.
the slow burn.
No, just nasty.
Yeah. So these folks, these creatures is what I'm going to call them from the upside down. They have started to manifest, and they're in our media, and they're in this trying to make. Why would you take a parental rights bill? I don't want any type of sexual orientation being taught to my child, kindergarten, third grade, much less through sixth grade. To be quite honest with you, I don't know why you would take that bill and try to name it the Don't Say Gay bill, and why you, as Disney World, a place for children and families, to stand against that.
And I'm going to go ahead and tell everybody this right now. This guy right here was, not anymore, was a Disney World fan.
I bet you enjoyed just about more money
per year.
Probably in the top 10% of people spending money there.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Carried his whole baseball team there. All of his kids, I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. A lot.
Often. Seasonal passes, 2 or 3, 4 times a year.
We've canceled those passes. We've canceled our Disney streaming. We've canceled all the Disney Plus, Hulu, anything that Disney's been tied to, even ESPN and my ESPN Plus. Yes, Disney owns that too. I've canceled it all. Because why? That's the only way we get to truly show what we approve of or disapprove of. And Disney stock, as of today, has dropped 33%.
That's probably all because of you not going anymore.
Yeah, probably a dent in it for sure. Go ahead,
speaking of all of that, that wokeism, and I think one time previous we talked about women sex changes, men and sex changes, and men getting into the women's sports and after having sex changes, this, that, and the other. I want to know right now, what are the women out there thinking that they're getting? What are they thinking now that they're getting crushed in all of the records that they have set and all of the different sports that they're involved in? They'll never be able to reach those records again because they have been so far out of whack now by letting somebody that's been, hey, as long as your testosterone has been reduced to a certain level, then you can compete in the women's sports.
Yeah, I think
if you recognize yourself as a woman.
Identify as, I think is what they're saying.
Right. But, identify my ass.
Me too. Me too. At the end of the day, I like to say that your hardware always overrides the software.
I think it's picked for you, isn't it? Isn't it like when you're born? It's like that's who you are. That's kind of like what you're given.
Yeah, it is.
Are you not messing around with what God has created if you change that?
Yeah.
Does that not go directly against what we learn and believe in the Bible?
Yeah, and I don't think feelings override biology.
I don't either. I don't. I'm gonna stand strong with that.
You know, and so now you got, I mean, imagine this. You know, you got a little boy who's got a little bit older sister, and she plays dolls, and he's just wanting to hang out with his sister. He's playing dolls, and then all of a sudden, you got people saying, "Oh, well,
he must want to be a little girl. He wants to be a little girl."
Yeah. I mean, this is an age of influence, folks, and you got the wrong people trying to be an influence on our children. Today, in this time, as parents, and if you have traditional values, you have to be more vigilant over your children than you ever have before, ever. And I think that, unfortunately, we're having to raise kids and bring them up in a more advanced way quicker because of all the things that are going on to make them aware of what to watch out for. And it's ridiculous. And
they have so much more access to what's going on via phones and computers and social media. And we didn't have all of that.
And when you got teacher unions that are filled with tons of liberals that are pushing an agenda, you know, let's go back to the trans athletes.
Yeah.
I can only come back with one reason as to why there's only a few women that are speaking out, and a lot of the feminists aren't speaking up on this. And I think what we're seeing here, folks, is that we're actually dividing, that there were a lot of feminists that were really never there for a true definition of being a feminist.
Man, I got two things that spin right off of that.
Yeah, but I think more than anything, they just wanted to be liberal. And they wanted to push an agenda more than anything. Because if you're truly a feminist, you're standing up against this shit right now.
Right now, period. I would think that any woman that believed in women's rights
absolutely
would be standing up right now, fighting tooth and nail to prevent this from happening.
It's crazy when Cowboy and Cadillac are more of a feminist. By definition.
Wait a minute. You speak for yourself on that.
Listen now. What's the true definition of a feminist? Somebody who believes in the equality of women's rights.
Oh, I thought you were calling yourself a female.
Lord, no. I don't identify that way.
Oh.
Never have, never will. I know my place. So does Mrs. Cadillac. So, truly, we're more of a feminist than the ladies
than the feminists that claim to be.
Feminist. Because we are more for equal rights for women than you are. So you're not a feminist. You're just a liberal. And you want to push crazy ideologies. If not, prove us wrong.
Here's what I see. I see a men's event. I see a woman's event. And then I see a trans event. If you want to be trans, if you want to change, if you want to be something other than what you were born as, then you will be in the middle and you will be in your own category and you will race against other people that believe they were meant to be something different when they were born, meant to be something different than God wanted them to be.
You know, we're talking about racing, we're talking about swimming, and we're talking about all that, but, you know, there's actually been some UFC fighters, men, trans over to women, if that were possible.
How's that going to work?
Oh, let me tell you how it has worked. There's been 2 broken skulls to biological females from this man. Now, most of the times,
identifies as a female.
Correct.
That has the testosterone levels low enough to be considered a female.
That should have charges that comes along with it, folks. But again, it's the upside down. It's creatures from the upside down that's thinking that this is okay. Anybody in their right mind would never sign off on that. But if your agenda is more important to you than being a human being and being humane, you're part of the fucking problem.
I got to agree with that, Cadillac.
Yeah,
100%. So, how about this one right here? How about this is a good one. This one got me. How about Black Lives Matter? How about all the money that they raised and all of this good that they were doing for Black Lives Matter?
Yep.
Have y'all seen any of this? Have y'all done any kind of research on Black Lives Matter and seen the things that they have done with the funds that have been given to them in supposed support of the movement?
Yeah. They bought some really big houses in predominantly white neighborhoods.
Holy smoke.
I do know that. And then when questioned about it, and the government, the Biden administration, has had the IRS and other folks go after them and start investigating, then all of a sudden the laws that you and me live by and other nonprofits live by, those laws are racist now. I guess all we're trying to say, folks, is people.
Hang on. I think that's what we're really trying to say.
Go ahead.
I think all lives matter.
Always
and I think Black Lives Matters is 100% a bullshit cover for money laundering.
Sure it is.
To be able to make the wealthy wealthier and then claim that it's actually for a movement because they know they can get people behind that.
It's been proven. It's being proven now.
And I do know also that black labs matter.
Yeah.
I got a pair of them. They matter.
Black guns.
Black guns definitely matter.
Yeah. White labs matter.
White labs, they matter.
Yeah. Pretty good. Listen, all lives matter, folks. And we've talked about this many, many times. It's getting so ridiculous at this point, though. And I'm kind of glad that it is, because at this point it's pushed past anything that would be any type of a normal or reasonable agenda, to where you're starting to see levels of mental illness. You're seeing levels of hate, levels of
greed.
Yeah. And obvious frontal lobe issues.
Can I bring, you mentioned Biden a second ago. I like to call him our world-renowned retard. That's what I like to refer him as.
Full retard. There's no doubt about that.
And you should never go full retard.
Yeah.
But he has gone full retard. You know, I went by the gas station the other day. Mm-hmm. You know, I drive a diesel pickup truck.
Right.
And I stopped by to get some fuel. And do you have any idea what you pay for diesel these days?
Oh, yeah. I do.
How about $5 a gallon here in Florida?
Yeah.
It cost me $302 to fill my tank.
So let's go back to 2020, election year, right? We had a couple years leading up to that was ridiculous. Tons of things going on. And through the media, through intent to divide us as a country, and divide us as citizens of this country. You know,
are you saying that the government actually tries to divide us?
Yeah, they want us to think about things truly that doesn't matter, and they want to prop things up that truly aren't a problem.
Do you mean like COVID?
Be a small problem, but they want it to be a major molehills into mountains. And
I think of COVID. I think of COVID when you say all that.
COVID's it's one of them. It's ridiculous. Some of y'all still wear masks.
Drop the mask, folks. They don't work.
Yeah, never did. Never did.
Sorry, go ahead.
But take molehills, turn them into mountains, and saying, look over here, look up here, so they can do everything they want to do over here. If we're divided, they get to do whatever they want, right? But here we are, 2 years later. Inflation's through the roof. All of us across the board.
Highest we've ever seen. We've seen
ever.
And we had it bad in the 80s.
Yeah,
we were young, of course. Cowboy and Cadillac was, but we saw it.
American family that should be ecstatic about Joe Biden being in office now, today, is the Jimmy Carter family.
Woo.
Period. Because he's no longer the worst fucking president ever. Ever. Now,
that's a true story.
If any of you out there are still supporting this, because there again, you're holding to an agenda and you're not thinking about humanity. You're not thinking about America. You're not thinking about anybody else other than a fucking agenda. And to prove that, is this country perfect? Hell no. But it's really close to it compared to a lot of others.
This country's a lot better off than a lot of other countries.
No doubt.
Without doubt.
No doubt. I just asked myself, for the LGBTQ community.
YZWP.
You know, here in Florida, we had an absolute tragic incident that happened several years back at the Pulse nightclub.
Tragic. Horrible.
Where it was a Muslim man went in and gunned down innocent people who were living their life how they wanted.
Which is up to them.
It's up to them. Right.
Not my life.
I don't see. That was a tragic, tragic incident. We've got crazy people out there, folks, that don't think with any type of regard to humanity. And we can all point at it and say, that is a crazy person. That's an exception, not the rule. What I want to be careful of here is that we truly all look at ourselves and say, am I becoming that exception? Or can I stay the rule? We don't need to let government, we don't need to let media, we don't need to let all these powers that be divide us. Stop and ask yourself, when's the last time somebody's been hung for being black? When's the last time somebody's been stoned for being gay? When's the last time a white person has died for being white? About 2 years ago. And there's people out there that think, oh, retribution, it's right. It's okay. You're becoming the exception. There's a thing called Newton's third law. And I understand. For every action, there's an opposite.
Equal reaction.
At a certain point, guys, gals, we need to stop. And we need to think about humanity. We need to think about what kind of world are we leaving to our children that are coming behind us. And I would tell you that this right now is not the world we want to leave to those coming behind us. How about live and let live? How about freedom of speech? Why are the Democrats going so fucking crazy about freedom of speech? What the fuck's going on with Twitter, Facebook, all these things? These are communist actions going on in our country right now. And half of you think it's okay.
You say half. I think it's less than half.
It's less than half.
Yeah, I think it's less than half. I think the media wants us to believe that it's half.
Yeah. Well,
but I think it's way less. Let's look at Biden's ratings. That should prove that it's less than half, right?
Well, Kamala turned out to be a good insurance policy, didn't she?
But real good.
Yeah, that's the only reason he hasn't been.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
Kicked out.
Yeah. I think it would be way worse with Kamala.
If it were possible, yes.
Ooh, I don't know if that's possible, but yeah, maybe it is.
Anyway, so what are we saying over here? Old Cowboy and Cadillac, trying to speak some reason to folks. At the end of the day, all anybody wants is to live and let live. Truly. That's all I want. What about
That's
you?
all I'm looking for. Healthy life.
At the end of the day, too, I think, how do we do that? Everybody needs to be able to make, a decent wage, needs to be able to make their way financially, because if we can all breathe in an economic fashion, we can always live another day to fight and argue about, your rights infringing on mine, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, we have more rights in this country, and we are more tolerant in this country than any other fucking country on the face of the planet. We have men and women that die, and we got sports prima donnas that want to take a kneel when it comes to the national anthem. Brittany Griner, she's a WNBA player. She's over there locked up in Russia right now. She didn't want to kneel. She didn't even want to come out for the national anthem. But, boy, she sure is calling on America now to get her ass out of Russia. See, it's all about perspective and from where you're seeing it from.
You're going to take a stand. Be prepared for the repercussion.
Yeah.
That's
How
the way
about
I
you
see
just
it.
try loving a country that gives us opportunity? How about I've never, I mean never, gotten to an argument with a person one-on-one and not been able to somewhat reason with them when it came to even social issues. I can understand it. Government understands that. They understand the psychology of that. That's why they try to sway and persuade the masses. And masses, we're all dumbasses. And can be.
Sheep.
Yeah.
Going to the slaughterhouse.
Mm-hmm. And some to a quicker slaughter than others. But with that being said, folks, I guess today, if we were to title this anything, it would be, wake the fuck up.
Instead of being woke, how about if we be wake?
Yeah, everybody. Wake up and realize that the portrait they're trying to paint of the upside down is not nearly as big as it is. It's not nearly as dominant as they want it to seem. How do we tell that? We tell that by looking at the results. The results are how we spend our money. If you're standing behind that push to overturn the thing here in Florida with the parental rights, you're losing. You're losing. You're not on the majority side. How can we tell? Your stock dropped 33%.
Hey, I just had our producer just shot me a message.
Okay.
And he's got a great name for today's show. Uh-huh. It's the sheep being led by the retard. Yeah. I think that's a good name. Sheep being led by the retard. I like it. I don't like the retard.
Yeah, but honestly, I mean, people, if they are living according to, following their leader, they're living up to their leader.
The retard.
Then let's don't just point out him, folks.
I legally voted for Trump, just so everybody knows.
Me too. So I honestly, I am going to use a caveat here. I'm not classifying myself in what I'm about to say. I am outside of what I'm about to say. So are you.
Okay, say it.
There's a lot of you, though, that even a lot of you dead ones out there who voted for him that actually fall into the category. I mean, you know.
How does a dead person...
You kind of acted retarded when you voted for the retard.
How does a dead person vote?
Birds of a feather. Easy. They have particular people like Acorn and all that. They go around, they just keep signing and checking.
Oh, God, hilarious! Not
really
funny, but hilarious.
Do not let me, when I die, vote Democrat.
I'll make sure of it.
Thank you.
I will, because I'm gonna let you vote Republican with me.
Might as well try it. Hell, see what happens.
I guess that is if I outlive him. We'll see how that turns out.
There's potential there.
Sheep, led by the retard.
Yeah. Hey, listen, don't be sheeps. Be wolves, ladies and gentlemen. Have a mind of your own. Stop, though, and think through things. Those of you who have fully developed frontal lobes, you know, reason with other people. Stop. Communicate. Talk about things. You know, a little bit of communication, we say in business, covers a multitude of sins. And it can also do that in life, too. So, you know, from Cowboy and Cadillac today, we may not agree with all of you out there, and you may not agree with us. That's okay. Our country affords us that right and that opportunity all at the same time.
Hang on a second. I was going to put that little bottle over there by you.
Yeah.
But I didn't want you to feel small.
That's okay.
Do you want the big bottle, or are you okay with small?
No, I'm perfectly fine with my bottle size.
Can you?
As long as Miss Cadillac.
I can't even go. I almost went somewhere with that whole bottle size thing, and are you comfortable with your bottle?
I don't know. Can we get Miss Cadillac on the line? Can we dial her in on this one, Felix? We'll let her say what she's comfortable with. Honey, you'll call in on the next show.
She'd lie for you, though. We know that. She'd lie for you. She's like that.
As the day is long.
I agree with that, but she'd lie for you.
She tells me the hard truth all the time. Thank you, honey. I love you.
Hey, listen, here's what I can say. Mm-hmm. Don't be the sheep.
Yeah. Don't be.
Don't follow a retard.
Yeah. Do your own research. Use your noggin. Think about it. What makes sense? It's just that easy.
Here's what I say. Here's a toast of bourbon this go round, since we did rye on that first one.
Yes, sir. You get
here's a toast to America.
America.
And to what it will be if we will start using our brains.
Yep. Use them, folks. To all of us.
Here's to America. And bourbon whiskey.
Ooh, that's good too, man. First one's got it, though, in my opinion.
I definitely believe Sean Knight is 100% correct. Yeah. Rye is better than the bourbon, and I am a bourbon man.
I would give the rye a 10. I would give that one an 8.5. It's really good.
I'm going to go 9.2.
Okay.
Because I remember us having something out of
That's within a margin of error.
I remember us having something out of New York that iron smoke that about smoked us.
It's kind of like that remember the old Pace Pecani? Remember that? Old cowboys out there.
Yeah.
It's New York City. You can't get from anything. It's supposed to be distilled and made from the South.
Hey, listen, we are God-fearing,
gun-toting,
free market capitalists, folks, right here at Cowboy and Cadillac Show. We appreciate y'all coming out and seeing us, taking a watch. Ring that bell, like us, subscribe. Come back and see us.
Yep. We'll see you next week, folks. Until then, y'all hold the line. See you.